Chris here. This episode gets into some pretty dark history about some of the locations, specifically towards racism. And we also talk about suicide in this episode. So if that's something you don't want to listen to, you can go ahead and skip this episode. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy and have a good day.
Welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris. Hey man, how you doing?
I am pretty solid. Had a couple drinks tonight. We've done a couple of these episodes ahead of time, trying to catch up because we've been gone for about a month because of reasons.
It's been a month. It's been a couple of months, actually.
It has been. We've had some major life changes family-wise. We've had situations with children that are requiring more trips to medical professionals. And just, damn, being an adult, right?
Yeah, being an adult and just being middle-aged, really a thing, isn't it?
You're not middle-aged yet.
I'm almost there.
I'm about to cross over the threshold here, but not you.
It's wild because people talk about like 50 being the middle age. It's like, no.
No, you don't know how millennials are going to die by 70 because of bad diet and stress that you forced us to have so you could get an extra yacht to be on.
No. But
you bought your house for 3 raspberries, and now you want it for $2 million?
So getting out of like the depressing part of life, I mean, it hasn't been too bad. I'm happy to start entering the, like, on one hand I'm not happy about it because, you know, the days get shorter, but on the other hand it's cooler and I get to do more stuff with family and I get to cook and I like cooking. And we're starting false fall in the South right now. We're moving into moderately spooky season. Yeah. And like, I can't wait for November aside from the election, which, you know, yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is, like, you know, register to vote, make sure you vote, all that. Unless this episode comes out after then. But like, I'm just ready to cook turkey. Like, you know what everyone says about turkey is like, oh, I hate turkey because it's dry and
flavored. That's because people fucked up cooking it.
Yeah, it's like, you need to know how to cook turkey.
Now, I'm going to be honest, if you're talking about Thanksgiving food, which means now I think I know when you're going to release this. My family, because my mother and my father both absolutely destroy turkey when they cook it. So my dad does not like it. We do ham in my family, like pre-sliced.
Ham is good. I do both.
Well, here's the deal. It's like I have to be very careful on what ham I buy. My mother does not want anything hickory smoked.
Really?
She doesn't like smoked anything. She says it makes it salty and bitter. And I'm sitting here just like gnawing the bone of the smoked ham that she would not eat, going, well, no.
I mean, it does make it bitter, but
it's not a bad bitter. But I learned that I was told I was a picky eater all my life, and I learned I'm not a picky eater. My father is, and my mother cooked for him, and I didn't like what he wanted. Right. So that doesn't make me picky. That makes me, I don't want this shit.
It's like, I don't want to eat whatever the fuck he's eating.
Well, my dad would eat catfish, watermelon, and collards.
I would eat the fuck out of that.
Well, here's the deal is, I don't like any of those 3 things. And my father tells me I'm a picky eater for that. I'm like, look, you give me any green vegetable that grows out of the ground, like any bean, any pea, any pod type thing like okra, and I will fuck that up. You give me any tuber, you give me potatoes or anything related to them, I will fuck them up. You give me any meat that's not fish or human, and I will fuck that up. Because I have eaten snake, and it's not bad if it's cooked right.
Shit. Like, any reptile don't taste bad.
Alligator is not bad if you cook it right. If you cook it wrong, it is spongy and rubbery.
Well, I mean, I mean, that's the same with like shrimp, though.
Or it's
right?
it's okay. Tell me if your parents had this before we get started on what we're talking about. Did your parents have a microwavable poached egg container?
No.
Oh my God! Your parents in the '90s, your parents did not have like the fold over two capsule poached egg, and all it was is you put 2 eggs in there, and then you microwaved and you called it poach when all it was is a fucking McMuffin egg.
No, we never had that.
You lived a blessed life.
I
My
mean,
mother taught me that was a poached egg until my wife gave me a real poached egg, and I nearly goddamn cried that eggs could taste good.
look, I mean, my family. Okay, I love my family. My dad could cook, but like when it came to eggs, I mean, my family wasn't good at it. My dad could cook anything else, but like when it came to scrambled eggs, it was like
Well, scrambling eggs is easy, but like over easy, poached, sunny
we
side
never
up.
did that. No, that was like
Let me be honest. I can't do any of that. Emily, on the other hand, nails it. And my youngest, the baby, is not old enough to actually eat those. But today she made me sausage toast, or toast sausage, and
I did. Wow.
oh shit, dude, she's cooking on like an 8th grade level.
Holy
No,
shit.
Emily made all that and gave it to me while I was holding Freya, and I'm sitting there eating like a piece of toast with sausage and a sunny side up egg on it, and I'm taking a bite, and I watch my daughter just like, because like I've learned this. My child might not actually be able to eat what I'm eating, but she sees that I'm eating it and she wants what I have immediately. Not this garbage, this plebeian dribble that you have put before me, you peasant. I want what you're eating. So like I'm sitting there like she'll have baby food and like
yeah,
broken up like we will make her so much more food than like me. I'm eating a piece of toast with meat and egg on it, and she's like, bitch. Give me that. Like you held her today, and you watched. Okay, you watched her eat. My wife is about to eat a piece of feta. And what does my child do? Lean in and eat it before she can get it.
What's funny about that is like, okay, so one, like put down your daughter, and she ran to me. I was like, I don't know what I did, but
did you give her food?
No, I didn't give her food. She just decided.
She remembered you holding her and Ruby giving her food.
Probably.
Because your wife gave my baby.
What's funny is that, like, I tried giving her feta, and she's like, I don't want this. And then she, like, just did the, like, headbutt at me. I'm like, okay. Yeah, well.
And then she saw mom eating it.
And then she's like,
I want
give me back to mom. And I'm like, okay. But
and then she ate mom's feta.
I don't want to compare a baby to a dog, but it is very much like...
I'm going to say, as the parent of 2, there are moments where there's a Venn diagram.
There is a Venn diagram of, like, dog to baby, and your daughter really, like, exemplified that.
I'm going to say there's a separate Venn diagram of baby to cat, and my daughter has way more of those traits.
I just like the fact that she was like, you need to hold me, Chris. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Uncle,
like,
Uncle, take me. Uncle, hold me. Where's the lady who gave me watermelon with tahini? I want her back.
You must bring her back as she holds my collar. Like,
she threatens you like a mob boss. Like, you're gonna bring her back, and she's gonna bring the tahini and the watermelon because that is what would please me. I will let you live if you bring her back to me. I know she doesn't want to because she wants to be antisocial, but I need her.
She's playing Final Fantasy 14, but she doesn't need to be doing that because
she needs to play with me.
And give me tahini and watermelon.
She came on the day of my birthday.
Came on the day of my birthday and also other days with the tahini and watermelon.
No, legit. Like, she did not want Ruby to... She cried when Ruby left last time.
Like... Okay, we're getting off track here, but just to say this, Ruby is like scary good with kids, and I don't understand it.
Because she's raised all of her younger siblings.
Yeah, I mean that's probably it.
But you know what?
What?
Let's talk about somewhere we might want to stay later. I got a couple of hotels for us in the city of New Orleans that are haunted.
It's haunted?
Haunted.
Haunted? Okay, is it like the place we stayed in Vicksburg?
No, because both of them cost like $300 to $600.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know, right? So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is Hotel Monteleone. You've heard of Monteleone in New Orleans, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's located at 214 Royal. Stop playing with Pokemon cards.
I just saw them over there. I didn't know if they
Stop trying to mess with my son's booster packs. He hasn't opened since Christmas because he's a jerk.
Hey, look, sometimes you gotta, like, sit on them.
There is not a shiny chart. Okay, if we open with those and there's shiny Charizard, I'm like, well, I just paid for college. Anyway.
I mean, if it's a shiny Charizard in one of these, it's not worth as much as you think.
But so, Hotel Monteleone is located on 214 Royal Street in New Orleans, Louisiana.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
It was established by Antonio Monteleone, who came to New Orleans in 1880 from Sicily. In 1886, he bought a hotel on the corner of Royal and Iberville. He bought up all the other hotels nearby and closed and expanded. And by 1913, he died, and his son Frank took over and expanded the hotel by another 200 rooms. So, right here, we're already 2 generations into Hotel Monteleone. It survived the Depression unchanged. Major renovations occurred in 1954 where they demolished the old building and built the majority of the current hotel on the location it currently stands. So
they were just like, we're just going to fuck this building up and then build a new one.
Okay, it's 1954 and the original hotel was built in 1886.
Right.
So we need to update this, like add indoor plumbing.
We like indoor plumbing around here.
I like not sharing a toilet with everyone on the floor who's in New Orleans who may be vomiting when I need to shit.
Yeah.
Now, Frank passed it to his son Bill, and Bill passed it to his son William Jr., Billy. Now, it is the longest lasting family-owned hotel in the country. It is still owned by the Monteleone family. It is not part of a greater chain or anything. It is still a privately family-owned hotel, which is a major fact at this point. Now, it is a Beaux Arts architecture style. It resembles a mix of French neoclassicism and Baroque. So it's a little bit Rococo.
You got a little bit of that Rococo.
A little bit of that Rococo punk. Now, it gained popularity due to the 1931 release of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is very French. It was noted for having similar arch windows. They showed the movie. There's a lot of stuff about the Monteleone that made people go, it's the Notre Dame. And I'm like, no, it's not Notre Dame. I've seen Notre Dame in pictures. This is like it's like a 6-8 story hotel. But like, it's so French. And I'm like, you know what?
Sure. Whatever. I mean, it's New Orleans. There's French shit everywhere.
If you go inside, this place is busy. I don't mean like people moving around. I'm talking about the decor and everything inside this hotel is very busy. A lot of like French statues of people, a lot of reliefs, a lot of not foibles go outside, but like the art, like over the arch in the door, there's like a shell and a recess with a bunch of like carved work. So a lot of sculpt decoration, a lot of statues. It's the grand room and the staircase at the entrance is very jaw-dropping because when you walk in, it's just big and open, and it's very European in nature, which a lot of people go, oh my god. And then at the very top, it's a flat roof, hidden, much like the high school you and I went to, behind kind of a faux parapet. Now, do you want to know the amenities that are at the Monteleone?
Yeah.
There's a renowned spa that is way too expensive. There's a heated rooftop pool with bar in the pool.
Oh.
It is one of the first hotels in New Orleans to openly support LGBTQ+, and it has the tag approval hotel status.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the thing that most people know it for, because in 1949 they built the Spinning Carousel Bar, which I have been to, and it is choice. As long as you stick to 1 or 2 drinks, because after that,
you're going to be like...
You get off, and that's not where you got on at. Because the bar is in the middle, and all the stools around it slowly rotate.
Oh.
It's real nice. It is one of the only places I have gone with my mother to drink and my uncle to drink. And I will say this. They did not care for my drink, which was a Sazerac. However,
that's a drink right there.
My mother likes lemon drops, and I did not care for that. My Uncle Scott ordered what he called a Tennessee Williams, also known as a streetcar named Desire. It's basically a fuckload of grenadine and whiskey. My uncle, as a traditional Southern dandy, ordered a traditional Southern dandy drink. I did not hate it because it's whiskey and sugar. So it was basically Red Bull to me.
Right.
So Monteleone being around as long as it has a couple ghost stories, you want to hear them?
Of course. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. So first off, let me start this with any story connected to Monteleone. 90% of the ghosts are friendly.
Okay, so they're like, hey, we're going to fold your laundry, or...
No, they're just not going to fuck with shit.
Okay.
Except Carl.
Okay, so is Carl like...
There is no Carl. I'm just saying, like, it said, like, when I looked at all the different sites, it said 90% of the encounters with ghosts in the Monteleone are friendly, benevolent encounters. I'm like, explain.
It's just Carl sitting there. It's like, I'm going to flip your coffee table.
Carl walks up and slaps you in the back of one testicle.
He's just going to, do a little bit of a tap.
It's just a flick on the very bottom of one, so it hurts way worse for no reason.
And then you're, as you're sitting there on the floor in pain, writhing, you just feel an ethereal middle finger at your face.
So, let me knock out the general ghost stories that are at the Monteleone. So the very first one is you can hear disembodied jazz music playing in the lobby. I'm going to go ahead and just dispel that one. You're in New Orleans.
You're going to hear jazz.
You're going to hear jazz. And if you're in the lobby of a massive hotel that has a front door that opens sporadically, or there's a valet parking door that's open sporadically, you're going to hear jazz.
Right.
Someone might turn on a radio. The next one is there is a ghost boy that grabs your hand, supposedly going up the stairs. Not dope on that one, personally. It's like I'm walking up there and I'm sudden...
Don't grab me.
No, okay, look, I have a thing about kids' ghosts. I don't trust 90% of kids' ghosts. You grab my hand, fuck no, you a demon. There's a grandfather clock in the lobby that supposedly you can see faces in. I'm going to say that that's pareidoia.
Yeah.
There are random cold spots. You know what? I give cold spots a bit of a pass as bullshit in New Orleans, because if I'm in an old building with limited air conditioning in very large parts of it, and all of a sudden I'm in an area where just this one spot in the hallway's cold and there's not a vent coming down, I'm going to say it's a ghost, because, I'm going to hang with that ghost because it's cold and it's fucking New Orleans in the summer.
Right.
Ghost children are heard playing in the hallway. I don't trust that.
I don't trust any ghost children in the hallway.
So there's one named spirit in this hotel.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Maurice, the space cowboy.
Why is he a space cowboy?
Because I'm a smoker, I'm a toker, I'm a midnight stroker.
You don't stroke it.
It's an old song, dude. Some call me Maurice. Some call me the Space Cowboy.
Okay, Space Cowboy. Don't stroke.
I'm just quoting an old song, my dude.
Stop stroking.
Anyway,
Stop it.
Maurice died of fever in the 1880s while his parents were out for dinner.
Did he have a fever from stroking?
No. His mother returned to the hotel on the anniversary of his death, and one night he appeared to her. Since he appeared at the foot of her bed, and stared at her and told her, everything's okay, I'm fine. So if you stay on the 13th floor, you will occasionally have a small child appear at the foot of your bed, telling you everything's fine. He also will occasionally not let the elevator stop until they get to the 14th floor, even though you pushed another button. And occasionally, this happens more. Maurice appears more if kids are in the elevator with you. Now, do you know what's fun about the 14th floor at the Monteleone?
Is it the 13th floor?
It is 100% the actual 13th floor.
How did I know that?
Because the tradition is in very tall buildings, you do not have a 13th floor because it is bad luck.
Right. Oh.
So we don't call it the 13th floor, and we just...
So wait, here's the funny part about that. Like, okay, we're not going to have a 13th floor. We're just going to name it something else. But it's still the 13th
floor. Like, it's 100% not logical, right?
Yeah, it's like, why don't you just build up to the 12th floor and just not make a 13th floor?
Now, something that has been repeatedly reported in every version of elevators that have been put into the hotel, new ones and the originals, is that they will always stop on the 14th floor even if you don't hit the button. And they don't have an elevator attendant like they used to. So you can't write it off as like, oh, the kid in the elevator stopped us on the fucking 14th floor, right? So occasionally it will stop on the 14th floor for no reason at all. Now, fun fact, Otis elevators list 85% of buildings that have them do not use the 13th floor. So 85% of the buildings that have a Otis style elevator like they do there, they will not list it because, again, the superstition against the number 13, which seems like kind of just avoidance.
Yeah, it's like, why are you sitting here just not talking about it when weird shit happens anyway? Like, why don't you just be like, yeah, this is 13th floor, just be careful.
I even wouldn't say that because 13's not an unlucky number to me.
I mean, but okay, if you consider a 13th as a lucky number, it's like, okay, this is the 13th floor. It's unlucky. Weird shit happens. What's the harm in saying, okay, just be careful here instead of being like, oh, we're not going to talk about it?
We don't talk about Bruno. That's the mentality here. I don't get it, man. I don't think the number 13 should be denigrated in this manner. But I'm not the one who created lore. Now, there's also another spirit named Red, William Red Wildemere. He's a former employee who died on site, and he will mess with deadbolts in the kitchen. He will straight up just unlock a door. And this has been recorded as people are staring at a door, and the latch, like deadbolt, unlocks and opens.
Oh, jeez.
So I don't know how they faked it, if they faked it, but the video I watched of this is they're in the kitchen, and a deadbolt, just like, not like a little like deadbolt like we used to have on our camp box, but like a thunk deadbolt.
Oh, like a straight up,
like a half-inch metal bolt.
Industrial.
Just thunked open, and the door opened. So, and this is like an emergency door. This is like something I had to push it open. So I'm like, that's weird. Also, there have been multiple EVPs caught in the kitchen between a chef and a waiter arguing with no one there by the International Society of Paranormal Research. The one I heard literally is like, make the fucking food.
I mean, that's pretty normal in a kitchen.
It was like, people are like, I can't believe ghosts would be this vulgar. My response, have you ever been in a kitchen?
It's pretty normal.
Nobody gets their feelings hurt because everybody's going to say something rude.
Yeah.
You're going to get called something. You're lucky if it's just an idiot sandwich. So, let me tell you about some sightings. You want some actual sightings of ghosts?
Yeah.
So, back in 2005, the elevator kept
2005.
stopping. Back in 2005, the elevator kept stopping on the 14th floor for absolutely no reason. A couple coming back from Pat O's went to bed, but also woke up with something standing Next to the head of the bed, they jumped up and turned on the lights, but nothing was there. The husband was told to go back to bed because he was drunk, and when he woke up again, there was a small child staring at him directly in the face.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
No. Get out of here, small child. I'm sorry. You're not mine. You don't belong here. Get out of here.
Now, this is a review coming from TripAdvisor. The only ghosts I saw were my dollars. Expensive, am I right?
What?
Yeah, a dude was trying to say the only ghost he saw was his dollars disappearing and dying, as far as he's concerned, because the rooms are like $300 a night in the Monteleone. It's not cheap because you go to the Monteleone because it's the Monteleone.
It's one of those.
You pay for the experience. Here's the deal: we're in a room bigger than most Monteleone rooms.
Really?
That have 2 beds.
Damn.
Dude, think about it. It's a hotel that was built in the 50s.
Oh, that's fair.
On Reddit, a self-professed medium.
Trustworthy there.
Was staying with her parents and saw an 8-foot-tall figure touch her father at night and cure his sciatica. So, you know what? I want to stay here because there's apparently a ghost that knows what chiropractic is because it invented it.
Hey, yo, I'm in here and I see you got sciatica. Let me just...
I'm going to dig my elbow right above your ass.
Let me crack your bones.
Let me crack you like a glow stick.
I'm going to crack you. I'm going to crack you real good. And I'm going to take your bones and I'm going to rearrange you.
Okay, I thought you were going to be El Sabone for a second with that. They continued. Their mother got possessed by a woman who told her to jump out the window, and the father and the self-professed medium stopped her from doing it. I'm going to say both these stories are bullshit.
Hey, you know what? Jump out that window to cure your sciatica.
It'll fix your lower back problems because you won't have a lower back.
You won't have anything because you'll be dead.
So they contacted the hotel's manager. The manager said, "Oh, let me transfer your room.
Let me contact the hotel manager about this fucking ghost,
like this suicide chiropractic ghost." And they said, "Oh, we'll move you to another room. We're sorry, we forgot. That's the room that a jilted bride jumped out the window of."
Hey, excuse me, hotel manager. My wife is suicidal. Can you do something about that?
3 other guests apparently complained about that. I'll put this. There are no records anywhere about this. Whoever posted this on Reddit is 100% full of shit.
No, it's not full of shit because they wouldn't talk about that because reasons and the flat earth is real. And
so I got some other fun facts about the Hotel Monteleone.
Right.
It housed the Edwin Edward campaign for governor from the 70s through the 90s. It is where the headquarters of his campaign was that hotel.
No wonder it's
is official literary landmark because Anne Rice, Ernest Hemingway, Tennessee Williams, and William Faulkner all stayed and wrote books in their stay at the hotel.
Okay, so we have Anne Rice and Tennessee Williams and Edwin Edwards
and Ernest Hemingway, man.
Holy shit! No, okay, now I'm on board with this place. I'm 100%. Like I was like dipping a little bit. Now I'm just like, let's go here. Let's do this. Ernest Hemingway, kill me.
No, don't say that.
Wait.
Redact.
I redact. No, I'm sorry.
Fucking
Ernest
hell.
Hemingway would not tell anyone to kill themselves.
He just would do it himself with a shotgun. He did. That's not me saying anything wrong. He swallowed a shotgun like Kurt Cobain. That was too far. I said something that was not that offensive because I stated fact. You decided to be a jerk.
I need to... My humor has gotten dark.
You need Jesus.
I need some Jesus.
All right, anyway, it is the only high-rise actually inside the French Quarter because of how big it is. The next closest building in height is the Singer Theater. They don't count any of the buildings that are immediately on Canal.
So a theater is bigger than a hotel.
Think about pulling up curtains. the curtains that cover an entire stage. You got to pull those things up.
Pull up these nuts. I'm sorry.
So these are my sources for the Monteleone. HotelMonteleone.com, FrenchQuarterPhantom.com, NOLAGhost.com, the Hotel Monteleone, GhostCityTours.com, New Orleans, Monteleone, TripAdvisor. I'm going to start with this one. The Monteleone is 100% not haunted. It is New Orleans haunted.
Yeah, okay, so anyone who is listening now, there is haunted and New Orleans haunted. New Orleans haunted is like...
Tourism, yeah. Now, I'm going to talk to you about a hotel that probably is haunted.
Let's talk about that.
So that is the Bourbon Orleans Hotel.
That's a fucking fantastic name.
Now, it was originally built as the Orleans Theatre between 1806 and 1815. The reason it took so long to build is they started building it, there was a fire, and then they continued to build it, and then there's the War of 1812.
I love the War of 1812. We talked about that, actually, with Lafitte.
Yep, and it was built in the French provincial style. However, once it was fully built, it was destroyed again in 1816 by fire. It was built and rebuilt in 1817 by John Davis, and he hired architect Henry Latrobe, who designed the new building. He designed it in the Capitol building style, similar to, well, capitals. Like, you can see bits of it in Baton Rouge and Washington, D.C.
I was thinking, is it the new Capitol in Baton Rouge? Or
no,
the
just
old Capitol?
The old Capitol, the Capitol style.
Yeah, okay. Like that, when I hear the Capitol style, like, because I think of anyone who isn't from Louisiana, there was an old Capitol, and now there's the new Capitol, which is where...
the old Capitol looks like a castle, and the new Capitol is where Huey Long got shot.
Yeah, you actually can... They're actually, like, if you go there, they're like, this is where Huey Long got shot, and you can look at the bullet hole.
And that's not true, because the bullet would have fractured the stone instead of putting a little divot.
Yeah. You know what?
It's tourism, dude. It makes a good story.
Tourism. It's tourism. Why do you gotta shit on tourism? Like, this is a podcast about...
Because tourism isn't true all the time.
Look, this is a podcast
about tourism.
God damn.
We're brought to you by the Louisiana Department of Tourism.
No, fucking Landry would not let us in.
Oh, God, no. Landry would hate both of us because we tell him suck a dick.
Okay, so anyway, what were we talking about?
Now, so John Davis had it built. He eventually added a ballroom known as the Soleil de New Orleans.
Ooh.
It was noted for some of the greatest dances. It was an extremely popular attraction in the entire city, but is known for one major problematic series of moments.
It's haunted?
It had quadroon balls.
I mean, everyone had...
No, not everybody had those. Do you know what a quadroon is?
What is a quadroon?
That is the daughter of a mulatto and a white man. It is somebody that was 1/4 African American, and they would have mulatto balls in early 1800s New Orleans and quadroon balls, so that rich white planters could come in and dance with quote unquote exotic women. That's why I said it's problematic.
I mean, that's not problematic. That's just like Depression era racism right there.
That's not Depression era, dude. This is the 1800s. This is the double standard that is of racism, because here it goes. I am a white supremacist and I only want a white woman. However, look at that cafe au lait over there in a blue dress. Nice. Because they were rich white dudes in the early 1800s that would put their dicks in everything, including an electric socket.
I mean, I wish they would have put their dick in an electric socket.
They probably did for the novelty, because the voltage was so low back then. But the thing of what I'm saying here is they would have these young 16 to 18-year-old...
Don't say...
I am giving history here. You can be uncomfortable. You have made me uncomfortable with the last several. This is a terrible thing, but I'm telling you what happened. They would have these young girls to young ladies once they got past the age of 18, and men would pay to dance with them.
I don't like this.
And the Soleil de Orleans was where most of these actually happened, because it was the largest ballroom in New Orleans. So when I tell you how beautiful this building is and how wonderful all the things that happened here is, Always remember this asterisk next to everything.
I don't like it. I'm going to burn this building. I'm not going to actually
here's the deal.
burn this
It already did.
Okay.
Now, the theater that was also built in attachment to the Orleans Hotel and Theater was a 1,300-seat opera house, one of the largest in the nation at the time. It hosted operas, plays, and even held the state legislature and the first district court proceedings until buildings could be built in Louisiana for them.
Okay, cool. Did they like creep on women there too?
Yes, they did.
God damn it.
They were, Mr. Steal Your Girl by Force. Now, it put New Orleans on the map for operas and balls. They performed plays during the winter, and the troupe would then tour the United States during the hot summers to avoid the yellow fever season.
I like avoiding the yellow fever.
I like avoiding that, too.
There's actually like a mass grave in Shreveport about the yellow fever.
There's one here in Monroe, too. It's underneath what is now called the Jewish Cemetery. There is the back corner of what was the original Jewish cemetery in Monroe City, because they would not allow them to be buried in the Christian cemetery. There is a large blank area at the very back corner of that cemetery that is a yellow fever pit.
I like how we're just like...
Let's just get all the racism out right now, yeah.
Yeah,
You made me uncomfortable with baby eaters. I'm bringing racism to you. It's a big old racist gift basket with melon and chocolate-covered bullshit you're going to throw in the trash can.
I don't know how I feel about this episode.
Okay, look. I'm telling you about legit terrible things.
The first episode, I mean, not the first episode, the first hotel, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. That's why I said this one's probably actually haunted. The first one's like, we got spooky stories. I'm like,
we got the spooky stories.
I gave you an appetizer, and bitch, here's the main tray, right? So, while the troupe was on tour, they would actually use the building, because it was empty, as a yellow fever hospital. So several people died regularly of yellow fever outbreaks in the theater portion. So even before we get to some of the specific spirits that might haunt here, understand a ton of people died of yellow fever.
Right. Okay. Yeah, fine. Cool. Tight.
Now, they competed with the Camp Theater until 1847 when the Camp Theater burned down. In fact, they put the same play on concurrently, and the Playhouse, the Orleans Hotel, that would become the Orleans Hotel, everybody argued that they did the play the best, and then the other one burned down.
Okay, cool.
It became a center of Creole culture in the early 1800s, and it's even stated that Andrew Jackson announced his candidacy for presidency there. Absolutely no proof. I think that's a story because Andrew Jackson lived in Tennessee, but he did love the city of New Orleans.
I mean, he also was said to talk with Jean Lafitte.
Before the battle, yes. Yeah. But we're talking like, that was 1812 to 1814. This is like the 1820s announcing his candidacy.
Yeah, I
don't think it's true. I think it's a great story. Now, in 1866, a fire destroyed the theater.
Cool.
But not,
I love that.
But not the ballroom.
Oh.
So in 1881, after years of being left abandoned or going through repairs and people not having money, in 1881 it was the building was purchased by the Sisters of Holy Faith for a covenant orphanage and school. Now, the thing about the Sisters of the Holy Faith is they were the first African American religious order in the United States.
Oh, okay.
So they bought the racist ass building and they turned it into a black nunnery.
That's cool.
I know nunnery is not the right term, but it was
that sounds dirty, yes. Yeah.
Well, no, a cloister doesn't sound any better because if you look at Pokemon and you see cloister, it looks like a vagina, okay? Like
yeah, I'm going to get out my cloister. You better get ready.
My God, Chris. You know what? Future Chris, this is your past self's fault at this point.
Get out the cloister.
I'm still lucid. He's not.
No, I'm good. I'm just fucking with you because you talked about like.
Oh, we're not done with that subject yet, my dude.
No.
Now, St. Mary's Academy was established. It was an African-American girls' boarding school.
Hell yeah.
For over 83 years, the order grew and bought adjacent lots. They built the St. John Birchman Asylum for Negro girls. They built a playground where the hotel pool is today for the children to play and get outside exercise.
I just gotta say, like...
You heard the word Negro and it, like, caused some twinges? Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I was just...
But they, like, there should be a twinge there for me, but, like, the nuns named it that.
I mean, it's historical. I understand where you're coming from. It's a historical thing. Not
like, I don't like a lot of this. I really don't. Like, I'm not condoning.
You hear me laughing in the podcast, listener. I am just...
It's nervous laughter. Like, my wife's going to beat me when I get home after she hears this. Now, in the 1960s, the order sold the property and moved to a new, larger site in New Orleans East, where they are still today. And they still have a school, they still have an orphanage, they still do a lot of charity work. Now, in 1964, Wilson P. Abrams bought the site to make a hotel and ballroom. Built a $7 million hotel on the spot. The hotel was only approved if the ballroom was restored. And the city's like, you restore that ballroom. I'm hoping it's not like in the 1960s. I need me one of them Condrune balls. My great-granddaddy told me about them. I'm like, God damn it, you gross motherfuckers. So the old ballroom is now the lobby, salon, bar, and dining area. Restored pristinely, but stuff added in. So you cannot really have a ball. Well, you can clear the space and have a ball. A lot of weddings occur in there. But for the most part, that is where you sit down while you're waiting to get checked in. The grand opening of the hotel occurred in 1966. The building was blessed by the Archbishop of the city, and
that helped.
And the mayor threw a brass key through the front door as a tradition that's apparently in New Orleans. I've never seen this anywhere else, but apparently I want to chunk a key through the door.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll help all the fucking degeneracy that happens there. Like, yeah,
everybody knows what happens in a hotel. But so I've given you some history of this place. It's made you uncomfortable, so let me make it worse. I want to tell you about the ghosts.
Cool.
So the first one, there are 4 main ghosts seen in this hotel. There are regular reports of orbs, shadow people, and stuff being moved. However, I'm not going to focus on those because, one, orbs are bullshit.
No, we got to focus on the orbs. No, Hewitt, tell me more about the orbs.
They're large, they're bouncy, and they occasionally get pulled up for beads.
Bouncy orbs.
Shadow people. Okay, I'm not going to dissuade shadow people, but they're a dime a dozen. And stuff being moved. I'm not going to really focus on that. There's at least 20 spirits, individual spirits that are noted in the building, but I'm going to focus on the most known.
Is there Tennessee whiskey in there?
Actually, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
So the first one are the children. Several recorded deaths of children from yellow fever occurred in the building before it became part of the convent, and the nuns also lost several children because they would get sick orphans and they would die. So one of the most prevalent thing to hear throughout the building is both giggling and crying of children with no children nearby, especially in the lobby where you will hear children crying and asking for their mommies, which hurt me to read, and it hurt me to listen to the EVP.
Let me guess. This is going to be... I hate to say this, but this is going to be the least of the uncomfortable parts, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, it depends on you.
Just send me the EVPs so I can put it in the episode for everyone else to hear.
No, you can go Google those yourselves. I never want to pull them up again myself, because when you actually hear what sounds straight up like a kid saying mommy, and there's no child in the room around the people who recorded it, that hurts my soul as a father. This is how I get killed by a demon ghost, is because that the child that's crying for mommy, I want to help. And that's when all of a sudden Satan goes, I fooled you, bitch.
You know what? That's fair.
And I'm like, you got me, you bastard.
You motherfucker.
But there's also many guests have felt tugs on their shirts, skirts, their belts being grabbed onto or tugged on, and many people have reported someone grabbing 2 of the fingers on their hands as they're walking. So not a child, but like little kids,
I
like grabbing the ring and pinky finger on your hand.
Which is,
that's what my daughter reaches up and grabs on me, and I'm like, okay. You will regularly hear children giggling in the hallways as well, which that's like standard for almost like if you tell me there's a New Orleans hotel that doesn't have a child giggling ghost in the hallway.
Okay, but like you preface this with a whole bunch of fucking depressing bullshit.
It is. So my thing is like I 100% would buy that there's kid ghosts here because of what happened. Now, it went back to the top of the document for no reason.
Oh, no, not the top.
All right, so next we get to the most famous room, room 644. Is the most active spot. People can hear in the hallway cries of pain coming from the room. If you're in the room, you'll be woken up in the middle of the night by someone screaming in pain or screaming in terror. And it might be you or it might be someone else, but this has been reported for over 100 years, even when this was a room for nuns in the convent. So this screaming is documented again and again and again. Now, supposedly, in the 1800s, a nun committed suicide in the room because she had broken her vows. She loved children so much, and she wanted one herself. So she slept with a man. She lost the child due to a miscarriage, and out of depression, she realized, I broke my vow, I've lost my child, I've done a lot of wrong, and supposedly she committed suicide. Now,
that's a way to just pile on.
Yeah, I went from the kids to this one. It's okay. The other ones are not as bad.
Well, let's just...
Now, multiple guests have reported being woken up in the middle of the night by a ghostly nun in the room, just staring at them from the side or the foot of the bed, just like looking at you like, hey, how's it going? She looks kindly at you and then will walk through a wall or walk out the window. Now, many guests claim that when they see her, they cannot move or make a noise and have trouble breathing. So we might have a accouchement.
Oh.
So that one I will give a slight, because I'm kind of going on these as we go. I'm going to give this one a slight credence due to the number of people who've reported something in that room.
Right.
And many of them reporting stuff without knowing the other people who report it, and you get very similar remarks. The next one is the man or the soldier is his name. It is a wounded Confederate soldier that has been seen limping down the hallway on the 3rd or 6th floor. You can hear his footsteps as he fades away, and sometimes you can hear his sword being dragged. So here's my thing, is if you're calling him a soldier and he has a sword, not true. That's an officer, more than likely cavalry officer. It seems to be a residual haunting because people report the same thing or seeing the same thing or hearing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I don't give this one much credit because, again, you throw a rock in New Orleans and you find a Confederate ghost.
Yeah.
He's like, I do declare you hit me with a stone, you knave.
I do declare racism.
I do declare I have tickets to the ball. Now, there's the Moonlight Woman, a.k.a. the Woman in Moonlight. She is a stone tape ghost that is seen dancing with an invisible partner in the ballroom. You can sometimes make out the details on her dress, and several people reported that she looks like she is of a darker skin tone.
Oh.
So she might be someone that would have been classified as a quadroon.
You know, the more you say that, the more racist it feels.
Here's the deal. It is 100% racist. Do not think anything other than that. Do not think I'm trying to hide this. The idea that they had quadroon balls where they brought ladies of mixed ancestry out to dance with rich white men is absolutely disgusting, but I hate to say it, it doesn't sound that far-fetched for some of the fuckers we have today that have all the money.
Oh, right.
Next ghost, other ghostly things. There has been at least 6 accounts of people seeing a ghostly duel fought in the ballroom.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, the thing that's wrong with this is people have seen that happening. They say they've seen it. Most duels happened outside in the street because you did not fight a duel in the building. And also,
like, you don't want to, like, shoot up a place.
Also, to give you an idea of where this is, it is directly behind St. Louis Cathedral.
Okay.
So if you step out the front door and look left, you are looking at the back of St. Louis Cathedral, which is also not where you fought a duel. So anything about duels in this area, it was people being rather uncouth because you were supposed to not be anywhere near the church when you did it.
Well, I figure, you're like near a church and you can, do a little prayer before you
get yourself a little absolution before you do it. There are reports that a spot appears on a rug in the lobby that seems to be blood. It has appeared even when the carpets and rugs have been changed. So, like, the stain appears in the same spot.
So even if you even if you go to Walmart, get a new rug, or if you go to Ollie's, you get a new rug, you place it there, no one has even touched that rug. Just stays.
All of a sudden, there's like a wine-esque or a blood-esque stain in one corner.
So you're just like, damn it, I changed this. I went to Ollie's.
We spent $1,000 on a new fucking rug, and you bloodied it.
I spent $1,000 at Ollie's at the new rug, just not working.
Now, there are several reports of lights turning on and off.
Okay.
Standard. Doors opening and closing.
Cool.
Several ghost hunting crews have gone through this building and caught wild EVPs.
Ooh.
Like, just I'm not going to list all of them.
I'm going to have to, like, pull them up then.
But there is a large list of, like, you have... Okay, let me rephrase it. There's a large number of them, but you have to Google them just right because the algorithm will not pull up a lot of them. Also, there are several TikToks of people who were staying in the hotel and caught weird noises and standard creepy stuff. One of the weirdest ones I saw that has been taken down because they told someone that they were a fascist and they lost their entire account.
Oh, that's
was cool. They were staying in the hotel and the mirror launched itself. Like, the mirror was on the back of the door, and you know how you got the top brackets and the bottom brackets? It jumped off.
Oh.
And hit the ground and smashed, and then the lights went out.
Was it trying to go after the fascists?
I don't know, maybe. But, like, my thing is, like, if it was faked, it was a really good fake, but it looked like the mirror jumped off, it hit the ground, smashed, and then the lights in the room went out.
That's pretty cool.
That if they faked it, primo job. If they didn't fake it, creepy.
If they didn't fake it, I wish the mirror hit. Anyway.
The hotel is located at 717 Orleans Street, New Orleans. It's right behind St. Louis Cathedral. It has a heated saltwater pool.
That's cool.
When you check in, you get a complimentary cocktail. You check in, and if you're 21, they give you a drink from the bar while they're getting your stuff up to your room.
Oh, fuck, we gotta stay here.
It's probably expensive. They're noted for yeah. They host wedding and special events.
Okay.
There's 218 rooms. The price is between $200 and $900 per night, depending on the room, and those are most of the standard rooms. I didn't look at the suites. But, like, it's like $200 a night for a standard twin bed room, or 2 full bed room. There is the Bourbon O Bar, which is renowned, and there is the Rue Restaurant, which is a 4-star restaurant.
Oh, 4-star.
So, my sources are ExploreLouisiana.com, Haunted New Orleans Hotels, thebourbon.orleans.com, GhostCityTours.com, Bourbon Orleans, NOLA Ghost Tours, Bourbon Orleans, NOLAGhost.com, Bourbon Orleans, U.S. Ghost Adventures, Bourbon Orleans, the HauntedRooms.com, Louisiana/Bourbon Orleans, the MidnightBohemian.com. There's a lot of sites here, and it's blue text on white background. The PCMA.org and NOLA.com entertainment/life, tales of destruction, death, and maybe a haunted hotel.
Awesome. No, I actually enjoyed this despite the fact that I was very uncomfortable about the racism. But anyway, we are Backwoods Obscura.
that is a hell of a segue.
I don't want to talk about the racism.
Let me just put it this way. I fully believe the Bourbon Hotel is haunted. The Monteleone is not. And that is because the Bourbon Orleans has way more baggage.
Oh, no. It feels more like just vibes based. I'm going off vibes. I'm not going off evidence.
Based on racism, it's more haunted.
Based on racism, based on the fucking absolute assholes that were there, it's haunted. Yeah. Anyway, we are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday, and we are on most podcatchers, and we are trying to get on social media. I'm trying to figure that out, but we are also Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a God, I was trying to hold it and you started laughing.
Oh god, it stank. It stank.
I farted.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, I pulled a Trump. I farted mid talk.
Just go.
All right, we are Team Bonus Action, a charity D&D group and online video game group. We are currently partnered with Extra Life. All proceeds to us right now will go to Batson Children's Hospital in Jackson. If you can donate, please do. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads as Team Bonus Action. You can find us on Twitter as bonus_team. And hey, maybe stay in a spooky hotel.
Stay in a spooky hotel and have a good time no matter what time it is. Yeah.